Hey, welcome back to the Girl Be Free podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, your clarity cultivator and founder of Be Free Project. I help women who are ready to flourish, feel fulfilled, and be free to show up for themselves. I am extremely passionate about community, sisterhood, and personal growth. So if that's your jam, you are in the right place. And now let's get into the show. This week, we are back with another Chasing Free series where I interview women who are doing amazing things and they are sharing their story on how they are chasing free and living life on their own terms. Today, I'm interviewing Tanisha Pinex. She's a brand strategist and designer and entrepreneur coach. She works with entrepreneurs who have a vision and passion to do what they love, build profitable and marketable brands. She works hard at designing, coaching, and pulling out the very essence of people and their passions. Tanisha educates and provides the tools and resources needed to help entrepreneurs in their journeys. Tanisha, welcome to the show. Hey, hey,
Hey.
hey. And let me just add, too, that you also designed the Motherless Child Guidebook, A Sacred Space for Healing Your Mother Wounds. So, of
Yes.
course, I had to have you on the show. And we probably can talk about that more a little bit later. But I wanted to bring you on because I really loved working with you for the period of time
Right.
that we did. And one of the things that I've been telling everyone when they're asking for graphic designers is that, and I'm saying this live because I think this is important for anybody who does business. You do
Mhm.
you do business very thorough and very excellent and is very timely. And I
Thank
value
you.
that so much. And so
Yes.
I just wanted to personally thank you here on the podcast.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah,
My
thank you.
pleasure. Because that means a lot because
It
everybody
does.
don't do business the same. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I am a stickler for that,
Yes, I
definitely.
appreciate that. So tell us, when did you launch your business and why did you get started?
I launched in 2015. I always knew that I wanted to be a business owner. My parents are entrepreneurs, have been now for going on 33 years. So it's always kind of just been in me. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So yeah, 2015 was it for me, and I had quit my 9 to 5, and it's been great ever since.
That's good. Now, what did you do prior to starting your own company?
I worked at an insurance company.
So
Yeah,
boring,
on
huh?
the phones, right? On the phones, answering claims questions and insurance information, all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, I used to work in a call center too prior to working full time for myself at a bank. We'll let it stay nameless. I don't know if I've shared it on
Right.
a podcast before, but that call center life, it
I
is,
know, right?
I
I
can't imagine
know.
ever going back. Mm-mm.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm good.
kudos to you for starting your own company and having that foundation with your parents
Right,
that you said been in business for over 30 years. That is
right.
amazing. So I
Yes,
love
yes.
that. That's good
Yep.
stuff. So, what inspired you to pursue your dreams and begin creating the life you want? And I guess specifically around being a brand strategist, designer, and an entrepreneur coach.
Right. So it actually started off with me just doing photography, actually. So
Okay.
yeah, I love capturing just like moments. I love capturing happy times, funny times. Like I've always been that way. Like I have a lot of like home movies from, when I was younger, like capturing my family and stuff like that. So it actually started off with just photography. I wanted to do like editorial photography for like fashion bloggers and magazines and things like that. But then it kind of slowly started to evolve into branding and things of that nature. Like I love bringing the talents of people to the surface, but it has to be like put into like a really pretty package.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have so many talents and things of that nature, but then the ways they were displaying them, it just didn't fit the beauty and the greatness behind what they were doing. And I wanted to like bring that out. So
Yeah.
yep, it went from photography. I was doing like weddings and portraiture, and I was like, this is not what I want to do. Like this isn't hitting like I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So then it transformed from photography to branding, and then I do brand photography now. So I still do it, but it's more consistent with businesses and product photography and headshots and things of that nature. So
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah, I was inspired to do more from seeing other people work in their purpose.
Mm-hmm. And that's so good because, like, for me, I know what I want, but everything that you just described is not my ministry by any stretch of the imagination. And I
Right.
feel like I've done well and I have a good like, you know, of what I can do. But then sometimes when
Right.
you want things to look a certain kind of way, I think it is very beneficial to hire someone, especially when that's their expertise versus trying to
Right.
do it on your own.
Right.
Yeah, I love
Yep.
that. So
Yep.
tell me, how does your business line up with your purpose in life?
Oh, a lot. I mean, my passion is for entrepreneurs. Like y'all literally have like a sweet spot in my heart.
Aw.
Uh, so, along with the branding and helping them develop a marketable, profitable brand, I also love speaking to entrepreneurs. There's some things that I feel like God had allowed me to go through in my entrepreneurship journey, just so that I can help other entrepreneurs going through the same thing. Like I totally get the sleepless nights. I get staying up all night doing stuff, finishing up work or deadlines, or you're just so passionate about something, you stay up all night finishing it. I get like charging too low and doing too much.
Mhm.
And you hurting and your feelings is hurt because they coming back with all these revisions and you literally charge them like the lowest price ever. Like I know like not knowing your worth at the beginning, like I get it. And it's just like I really want to speak to entrepreneurs in that way and help them in those areas. So I feel like what I'm doing is kind of going along with my purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that not charging your worth is so
Boy.
real.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I just had another podcast interview right before you, and that was a conversation that came up, like not like knowing like you go into all this stuff, like putting out this amazing piece of work, and
Right.
then when it's time to put a price on it, you're like, oh well, maybe I'll just charge them a little bit or not charge them at all. But we
Right.
have to realize like the work that we're putting out, it is
Yep.
valuable, and you should
Right.
charge exactly what you feel that you are owed, and
Right.
I don't think that people, especially when they're just getting started, there's just this fear around that, like,
Yep, it is.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like taboo or weird to talk about money, and it's like, but it's a business. You got
Yes,
to
a
get
whole
paid.
business, a whole
Right.
business that we are
Right.
running. Yes, I had to do a lot of, and I'm still working through some limited beliefs right now, and
Right.
really kind of breaking down where those limited beliefs come from, because depending on how
That's
you
good.
were raised,
Right.
even though you have a business, if you have a poverty mindset and you've never
Right.
broke through those limited beliefs, that will seep right over into your business. And so that's
Right.
why you can't charge your work, because you feel like you don't deserve enough money, or you didn't see
Yep.
your mother earn money. So now you feel like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't charge that much. So I think sometimes you got to really tap into what those limited beliefs are so that you
Right.
can begin to charge your worth.
Yep. Yep. That's good. Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work and it's definitely uncomfortable, but this
Yeah.
year I've had a lot of, we'll just call them eye-opening moments.
Right.
And now I'm like 2020, here I come, because I
Right.
have done so much work specifically on those limited beliefs. So yeah.
Right. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up.
What do you enjoy most about living life on your own terms?
I love the freedom of living on my own terms. Because I don't. I mean, I don't know if this is a little immature or not, but I don't like living by how somebody else want me to live, if that makes sense. Like with my
Yes.
9 to 5, they tell you, when to take your breaks, when you got to come in, when you get to clock out. Like I just don't like that type of living. And there's no shade to anybody that has a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 is what funded my business. Okay, so there is no shame in no 9 to 5. Entrepreneurship's not for everybody, but I'm just saying for me, the freedom. I love the freedom of just being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I love being able to go to Starbucks and work there for the day if that's what I want to do. I just love that. And yeah, just having more time with my family, with my husband, and just doing more. So yeah, I feel like that's like the best thing of living on my own terms.
I love that. And I love how you pointed out, like, it's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5, because I never
Right.
want people to think that.
Right.
There is nothing wrong with doing, what you love to do, even if that means that it's working for someone else. It's not for
Right.
everybody, and that is
Right.
totally okay. And I don't like
Right.
how the internet just makes people feel bad for going to work
Yep.
every day. Now,
Yep.
I
Right.
will say that I do think it's important that you do work that you love, right? So if
Right.
you love teaching people and you love serving, but yet you're an
Right.
accountant and you hate going to work every day. That's a
Right.
problem for me. I think
Right.
you need to
Right.
figure out what you love and do that. But there's nothing wrong with going to work
Right.
for somebody else every single day. I mean, like you, it actually helped me get to where I'm at now. And there's
Yep.
so many things that I've learned from corporate America that I've
Right.
now incorporated into my own company. And it was beneficial. So yeah, I love how you
Yep.
said that.
Yeah.
And like you, freedom is so important to me. I remember when I was working every day, I was like, I just want to be free. I just want to be free. I want to go
Right.
to Starbucks when I want, when the weather is nice. I want to
Yes.
be able to do what I want on my own time. And so I love
Right.
that you've been able to cultivate that in your own
Mhm.
life and do it in a way that feels good to you. So I love that.
Right. Yeah.
So describe an aha moment that you recently had, or maybe in the past, where you just had this light bulb moment.
Well, it was mostly at the beginning of my whole entrepreneur journey and just like starting my business. One of my business coaches and friends, um, she came to me with this question. She posed it to me. She said, "Are you treating your business like a business or like a hobby?" And that really stuck with me because I was like, dang, I really was treating it like a hobby. I wasn't setting those terms on like the client and like, like um just putting my processes in place for them to follow. Like I was just like, treating it like it was nothing. Oh, it's okay, like they'll pay me next week, or it's okay for me not to, be assertive in this area. It's all right. Like it was just so like humdrum and not like a business. Like this is your bread and butter. Like I'm gonna need you to act like it.
Mhm.
So that was probably my biggest aha moment when she said that. That literally changed my whole perspective of how I looked at my business.
Like when for example, you started doing photography, so it was a
Mm-hmm.
hobby, right? And so
Right.
it takes a lot to switch your mindset to, wait, now we charge for this, and because we charge
Right.
for this, we need these systems and these processes in place so that you can get paid on time, and people
Right.
also will value you as a company and not just doing something like just for the fun of it, right? So I'm
Right.
glad that you were
Exactly.
asked that question, and then it
Yeah.
helped you shift how you do things.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's going to help somebody else when they listen to this, like, oh, yeah, wait, am I running this as a hobby, or am I
Right.
running it
Yeah.
as a business? That's so
Mm-hmm.
important.
Yeah.
So, what keeps you motivated on days when you feel overwhelmed?
Just the life that I see in the future, the promises that were made first off by God, understanding that He is the head of my business. So I want to do right by Him when it comes to my business. Of course, along with other things, but that is kind of what keeps me motivated. Like even when I'm overwhelmed, I understand, okay, wait a minute, I need to sit, relax, kind of regroup, take a moment, chill, and get back to it. But that motivation is definitely the purpose and the mission that God has placed on my life. That's like that's legit, the real thing. And then of course the second thing, of course, is bills. Gotta be able to pay my bills, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then I want to live up to, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but live up to the support of my husband. My husband has been so freaking supportive, like from day one, you feel me? And like I want to do right in my business and continue to grow it for him too, like for him to get the fruit of his sacrifice and his, you know what I mean, like his support. Like I want that so bad for him, so that also keeps me motivated, you know what I mean? So that's real. All those three answers: God, my
Yes.
bills, and my husband.
Yes, I love it. You need to have that on a t-shirt, right? I love that. Like,
Right.
yes, I do. And I, like you, my husband has been extremely supportive from day
Right.
one. And he definitely is my motivation and challenges
Mhm.
me to get out of my comfort zone, because sometimes
Right.
I can play it safe, and he reminds me of who I am. Like, you
Yes.
were built for this, and you
Yes.
need, and I was
Right.
just having another interview where you need that support system of somebody that's going
Right.
to push you, but then also encourage you and uplift you as well. So I think that that is so dope that your husband is one of
Right.
your biggest supporters. So share with me, what
Yes.
has
Thank
been
you.
one of your biggest challenges in your business thus far?
To be like I know, and it's so weird because like I know branding and marketing, they kind of go hand in hand, but I am the creative, okay? And I know how things are supposed to look and all that stuff, but like when it comes to launching, or not, sorry, not even launching, but when it comes to marketing, that's where I struggle. So I have to obviously hire outside help with that, or but that has been my biggest thing as far as the business, and like my challenges is the marketing, just getting it out there. And also too, um and I've learned that I don't need to do this, but it's kind of been that back and forth challenge of feeling like I have to keep up with everybody else. And it's like, girl, boo, no, you don't. You got your own like path, your own timing, all that stuff. And it's all laid out the way it's supposed to be. You just do what you need to do, and everything will fall into place. Don't be trying to keep up with everybody else. They doing their thing, you do your thing. So those two things have kind of like been my challenges: the marketing and just feeling like no, girl, you ain't got to keep up with everybody. Just chill out, like do your thing.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's the importance of having like your own community and own support
Right.
system so that they can keep
Right.
you on track. Because it
Right.
is when you see other people thriving in certain ways and you're like, well, wait a minute, it can
Right.
get you off track. And so I'm at this
Right.
point now where I am extremely laser focused, but it took me a while to get
Right.
my messaging crystal clear where I know
Right.
exactly who I'm talking to. I know what she looks like and all that jazz, but it's taken a lot of time to get there. And I think
Right.
when you stop looking at what other people are doing and like you like really just
Yeah.
focusing on your stuff, that is when you will
Right.
start to see your company flourish. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah. And then you also
Yep.
said that everything is already laid out. So then when you keep that in the
Right.
forefront of your mind, it's like, well, let me just keep my eyes on my own paper and keep it
Right.
moving.
There you go. Right.
Yes. So what's your biggest fear and how do you overcome your fears?
So I don't like to say that I have fears. I know that might seem like it's naive or anything like that, but I have scares. Like things scare me, but I'm not fearful. I am real big on being fearless, actually, because fear, man, whew, I've had my share of fear, believe me, and God has delivered me from that because it used to be real bad where I wouldn't do anything. So really, fear so okay, so my biggest scares would be just not living up to my potential. Knowing how, you know, I ain't trying to toot my horn, but knowing how dope God made me because He made me this way. You know what I mean? Just not living up to my fullness potential, and not living out the fullness of what God has for me is probably like my biggest scare. Like I don't want that. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so I work hard at it, and yeah, yeah.
And let me just point out that it is okay to toot your own horn. You know what I mean? I don't, and I'm saying, and you're not
Right.
the first person that I've said that to, but it
Yeah.
is okay for us to say, I'm the, well, I don't
Right.
cuss on here, but
Right.
it's
Right.
okay to say, I'm the stuff, like I'm the ish,
Right.
I'm doing that thing, and not be
You're right.
apologetic
Right.
for who we are. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's real. That's real. Right.
Yeah, so
And not
toot your
giving it
own
that
horn.
right. You right. You right. All right. You right about
From
that.
now on, toot your horn
Right.
no
Okay.
matter what, because I think that is how we become more powerful. That is how we own our space. And
Right.
so many times, and
That's
I hear
good.
this all the time in my Be Free inner circle, I hear it at my events, all the jazz, where we don't want to take up space. And
Right.
we're apologizing for everything. And it's like, wait a
Ooh.
minute.
Right.
You're
That's good.
apologizing for being present. You're
Right.
apologizing for what? So
Wow.
I have
That's
to learn,
good.
even with me, like I have to learn, like stop apologizing. And I'm teaching my daughter, she's 13, and I've been teaching her this for a few years, or maybe a year. Let me not exaggerate. But like she will apologize for the littlest thing. And I'm like, you didn't hurt anybody's feelings. You didn't do
Right.
anything wrong. You're apologizing because you crossed in front of me and I wasn't aware of it, or just the
Right.
smallest things.
Right.
So
Right.
that just came out. I just had
That's
to share
real though.
that.
You're right. I'm a definitely be working on that.
Yes, Yes,
That's real.
absolutely.
That's real. Yeah.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
as women, we do it so much. And I haven't read this
Yeah.
book yet, but it is definitely on my list of books to read, by Rachel Hollis, called Girl Stop Apologizing. Have you
Ooh,
seen that
okay.
yet?
Uh-uh.
I haven't read
Uh-uh.
it, but I've heard about it, and I definitely want to dive into it because I'm just more aware now that how much time, how often we as women apologize just for showing up and being
Right.
ourselves.
That is so real.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think I'm
Yep.
gonna do a whole episode on that because I feel
Yeah, do
fired
it.
up. I
Do
feel fired up about it. I
it.
do. All right. So
Yes.
what's the most important thing that you learned about yourself this year?
This year, that I wasn't as disciplined as I thought I was. I've learned that, and that is currently where I'm, what I'm working on. Um, and to be honest, I feel like it's going pretty good actually. I thank God, because I am definitely in a different place than where I was. Discipline, discipline, discipline. That's all I can say. Like, discipline is so big for me right now. My biggest lesson learned literally is discipline.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. Like, discipline in my money, discipline in, my business, like discipline even with self-care. Like,
Yes.
it's just been big for me. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm at right now. And
And
it's been awesome.
yeah, and I'm so glad that you brought up self-care. So what are some ways that you practice self-care? Full-time entrepreneurs, or even if you do it as a side hustle, like, you have
Hmm.
to care for yourself, and we cannot
Right.
keep pouring out and not pouring back into ourselves. So what are some of the ways that you practice self-care?
Yes. So, my audience knows that I have these things called My Day Monday. And I literally take Monday, that becomes my day. I do whatever the crap I want to,
Mhm.
and no work, no client work. I don't answer emails. I don't take client calls, none of it. And it's just me, and my husband, you know,
Mhm.
Netflix and chill. Might have me a glass of wine, go get my nails done, like go hang with the girl. Like, it's just literally like that time to just decompress from business, the hustle and bustle of everything, and just have that time with myself. Like,
I love
and
that.
I love it. And I've been doing it every Monday. And
Mhm.
that's my day off. I don't want to hear nothing about doing no type of business.
Mhm.
That's when I just literally get away from everything. So that's been my thing.
I love that. And then let me ask, what made you choose Monday? I'm like, I like my day Monday, but what made you choose Monday?
Right. Because to be honest, it's kind of like I'm coming off from a fresh because I go to church every Sunday,
Mhm.
and it's just kind of like that. Whatever I've heard or God told me at that service, or just in prayer, whatever the case may be, it just kind of flows into the next day, and it starts my week off.
Mhm.
Even though Sunday is technically the first day, but you know what I mean. Like, it just
Mhm.
my business week, it just starts it off just right and on the good foot.
I
So I
love
just
that.
chose Monday. Yep.
That is so good. I love that a lot. And I think that I had another guest on the show, Linda, and her days was Wednesdays. And she was like,
Okay.
"Oh yeah, you know Linda. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. She was on, and Wednesdays was her day to get her hair done and all the jazz. And the
Right.
kids know, like, don't mess with me on Wednesday.
Right.
And she's
Right.
incorporated them so then they respect and honor that day. And I think that's really important, no matter, and she works full time, and she
Right.
has a business. So I think it's really important that you carve out time just for you, because we got to take care of
Yes.
ourselves. We definitely
Yes.
do.
Got to. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So share with me, what's something that you are most proud of?
I am proud of my business, of course.
Mhm.
I am proud of the purpose that God set before me. But to be honest, I am most proud of my marriage. Um, and that's real talk. Like, I am just really proud of my marriage. Like, it's just, so we're 6 years in. We've grown so much from year 1 to year 6, and I'm just super proud of our marriage. We're not perfect, but it's the bomb, and I thank God
Yes.
for it. And I'm just so proud of it. I really am. That's just honest answer.
And you know what? I love that so much. And we need to hear more of that,
Right. Right.
because of so much negative stuff that we see
Yep.
every day on
Yep.
social media. It's so funny
Right.
because I was at my doctor's appointment last week, and it was a young girl checking me in and all that jazz. And so she was like, she said something, and I was like, oh, what? oh, she was like, oh, you're married? Because she was looking at my chart. I'm like, yeah, I've been married for 16 years. And she was like, ooh, how is that going? I said, I
Oh,
am happily
wow.
married. I said, I am
Right.
happily married. I said, we've been
Right.
together for 21 years, married for 16. And I said, I like my husband and I love him. And I said, there is a distinct difference. Because I felt like I had to teach her
Right.
something.
Exactly. There you go. That's
Yes.
real.
And I told her, I said, I like spending time with him. I like what we have built in our family. I love him.
Right.
I'm in love with him. And she's like, oh, okay. But I had to do that because apparently
Yep.
she had
Yep.
some negative messages. And when I
Right.
said 16 years, she automatically thought that, oh, you must have been going through hell or something. I'm like, no, it's not like that at
Right.
all.
Exactly. What is wrong?
I was like, and she caught me
Yeah.
so off guard, but I'm like, let me teach you something right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me school you real quick.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that you said that you're proud of your marriage, and
Yeah.
even 6 years in and knowing that from where you were in the beginning to where you're at
Yep.
now and seeing the growth. I love that. And I want to hear
Yeah.
more messages like that because it inspires other women so you can hear a positive view of marriage, not what she was talking
Right.
about.
Exactly.
Okay, so one of the things that I am very passionate about is supporting other women. Like I do it just like I breathe, like all the time. So I want to know from you, like,
Right.
how do you support other women?
My biggest spiritual gift that ranked higher on my little test was encouragement. And I love encouraging women, letting them know, like, hey, sis, like, first off, you super dope, you super cute. Like, what you're doing is like popping. Like, I love like encouraging in that way and just letting them know because we need that. From a person that used to suffer from low self-esteem, like that's a huge thing for me. Like, just encouraging them and let them know that they're doing good. Like, even if nobody else tell you that you are or appreciate what you're doing, I want you to know that you are, or that whatever you did, it really helped me. Like, I love letting people or letting women know that what they're doing has helped me too. Like, like I feel like that's my biggest way of supporting women is just being there for them. Like, even to vent, if you just need to vent. I have a few of my entrepreneur friends be like, girl, look at this email. Like, did I do so wrong? And I'd be like, nah, sis, you did. You was right, and it's like, I just love like being there for women entrepreneurs. So I feel like that's my biggest way of supporting.
And I love that. And we need that. And I have, so
Right.
we have a mutual friend, Brittany. And every now and then when something comes to my inbox or something, I get something, I'm like, I'll text her and I'll say, can I be petty right now? And she'll just
Right.
send me like the eyes emoji and I go in and I just be typing it out. And I feel like it's
Right.
better to do it that way than to
Yep.
do it on a platform, because I'm not
Right.
here to hurt anyone. But sometimes you just have to
Right.
get that out. And I'm sure
Yes.
everybody can relate. And she'll do the same thing with me. Like, can I be petty?
Right.
I'm like, go for it. And I'm like,
Yep.
girl, what happened? So I'm so
Right.
glad that you have this space where entrepreneur friends or what have you, like you're
Yep.
supporting them by encouraging them, but also allowing them to vent because this work is not easy. And it can be
Right.
very taxing. And I don't
Yep.
think people really understand that.
Right.
Like, I
Nope.
just don't think it's when you're
They
not doing
don't
this
get
type
it.
of work, they don't get it. They don't get it.
Right. It's not all glitz and glam. I'm telling you. Don't let
No,
Instagram fool you.
not at all. Not at all. And it was
Oh,
the exact reason why I had to take a break from social, for this period of time that I'm
right.
off because I'm like every single day I'm creating
Yep.
new, fresh content.
Yep.
And managing all the things that I manage. And sometimes we just got to pull away and like pour back into ourselves. So I love that that is how
Right.
you support other women because it's so needed. And
Yep.
I hope that the people that are listening, like they will find a way that they can support, even if it's just saying a kind word or being a listening ear. It doesn't always
Right.
have to be financial, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yep.
even what you're doing, that is so rewarding in itself. So yeah. So what advice would you give someone just starting out?
Oh, it was this quote that I just saw that resonated with me so well, and I actually posted it to my Instagram. But it was from this guy named Prince EA, and he said, "You don't." He was like, "Allow yourself to be a beginner." Oh, I forgot the ending of it, but he said, "Allow the beginning is what got me." Is that he said, "Allow yourself to be a beginner," and that really stuck with me. And I feel like that needs to be told to new entrepreneurs because at the beginning, especially with me, I'm such a perfectionist. And so at the beginning, I would be upset when, certain things frustrate, or, like I didn't get how to do something. I would be so mad at myself, like, dang it, why didn't you know how to do this? Like, and it's kind of silly, but it's true. I suffered with that. And I think if I wish someone had told me that at the beginning, just allow yourself to, to be a beginner and not feel like you got to know everything, because you won't know everything. There's going to be so many things that you learn about yourself, about business. Like, so just allow yourself just to literally just ride through the journey. Just learn as much as you can, have fun as much as you can through it, and just allow yourself to mess up. I mean, that's real talk, because you're going to. And so that's probably like my biggest advice to new like beginners in the whole entrepreneurship lituation.
Yes, I love that. And you know what? I wish somebody would have told me that.
Right.
Because like you, I am a perfectionist,
Yeah.
and everything has to be like this way. And then I remember being very hard on myself when I didn't get something or I didn't
Right.
understand it. And the coach that I'm working with, that's something that came up like months ago. It's like, why are you so hard on yourself?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think because we want to get it right. We want to
Right.
see our businesses flourish, and you see
Right.
what other people are doing on social media, and you're like, okay, I'm doing something similar. Why am I not comprehending it the way that they comprehended it? Because you weren't supposed to,
Right.
because you have to begin, and you don't know how many
Exactly.
hours that they put in trying to figure out what they know
Exactly.
now,
Right.
So I
Right. Right.
love, love, love that. Like, own
Yeah.
being a beginner, and that's
Right.
okay.
Yes. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay. Everybody has been a beginner in some
Yes.
area of their life,
Yep.
if not all. So,
I
whew.
agree. That is good. That is a really, really good message. So, a couple more questions. What book or books would you highly recommend that the Girl Be Free listeners read? And it can be fiction, nonfiction, new or old. You get to choose.
Oh, okay. Actually, the most recent book that I've read, or just well, actually, I'm like halfway through. I'm not finished with it, but is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it's so good. That's what actually sparked my whole discipline journey. Like being better at creating, healthier habits in every area, spiritually, mentally, physically, health wise, business wise, all of that. And so James Clear, Atomic Habits, that book is the bomb. So
And
that's what
I'm
I
so glad
recommend.
you shared that. The Be Free Inner Circle, that's the book for our book club coming up, and we're starting
Oh,
to read it
cool.
on January 1st. And I've heard so
Yes.
many great things about it. So I
Yeah.
cannot wait to dive in. And I actually purchased it because I'm one of those people where I need to highlight and write in the book.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you for sharing that. And again, I'll make sure that
Yes.
I link to that in the show notes. So,
Okay.
share a fun fact about yourself with the audience.
Fun fact. Let's see here. Okay, I could just kind of share like a list of things
Oh,
if
yes.
that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
um, I actually got on a plane for the first time like 2 years ago. Never been on a plane. 31 years old, getting on the plane for the first time. It's kind of hilarious to me. Actually, I had a whole panic attack and everything, but that's a whole other
Wow.
story. I mean, I was cool, but it was weird, like being up in the air like that. I don't like spaghetti. I can't stand spaghetti. And my sisters, everybody get on me about that. I'm like, look, I don't like spaghetti. I don't like bread, sauce, and noodles. Another fun fact: I have to sleep with the TV on.
Okay.
And I watch The Office. I'm obsessed with The Office, Michael Scott,
Yes.
Dwight, Jim, all of them. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's just some fun facts.
I love that. So my kids don't eat spaghetti, which I feel is so strange. What kid don't eat spaghetti? I grew up on spaghetti, but they do not
uh,
like it. And I love The Office.
uh-huh.
So we share that in
Yes,
common.
yes,
And my
yes.
daughter actually watched the whole series on Netflix. And even she's 13, but she got she got a lot of the humor. So thank you for sharing those fun facts. So two questions
Yeah.
I want to end on. And number one is, what does being free mean to you?
Ooh. Well, that kind of goes into the first, well, not the first one, but a couple questions ago. Just being fearless. I'm telling you, man, being fearless has been freedom for me. It's been so freeing, because having fear like just holds you back from so much. Like, and I just kind of want to make sure that I mean, I'm sure they do, but just in case, there's a difference between being scared and there's a difference between being fearful. Fearful stops you from doing what you're supposed to do. It stops you from getting out of your comfort zone. It stops you from growth. Being scared is just like, oh dang, you know what? I'm scared to do this. I'm nervous as hell, but I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So being fearless has been the bomb. Like so freeing. It's so freeing. I'm not going to say that I don't still struggle with certain things like public speaking, like literally getting on a stage and being, in front of hundreds of people or whatever, thousands of people. That is, it still kind of gives me anxiety when I think about it, but I'm no longer fearful about it because I'll do it now. Before I used to be like, no, I'm not doing it. Don't ask me. Don't look at me. Don't even like nothing. Like I'm not doing it. But now I'm like, nope, T, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to do it because this is part of your business and this is part of what you're going to have to do. And you being fearful and holding back what God has given you to say is not helping nobody. So being fearless is definitely freeing for me. Yep.
Oh, I love that. And then what exciting things do you have planned coming up in the new year?
Well, I have a branding course that I'm working on to teach new entrepreneurs how to brand themselves and how to launch their new brand. And then I'm also working on a planner, and I do have a book, but I don't know when I got to talk with my girl Marlena on when that's going to come out. But I definitely have a book. I already kind of have like the outline and all that done. So yeah, and then I'm also going to be doing a web series. So yeah, be looking out for that. So yeah, I'm just
Yes.
super
Wait, a
excited.
web series. Tell me, can you share
Yes.
more? Because I love web series. I fell in
Well,
love with the Misadventures of the Awkward Black Girl when she was doing that. Is that something like you're
right.
talking about? Like,
Not like in a sense where it's like acting, but
okay.
it's definitely gonna so maybe I'm not saying maybe the word isn't web series, but I do want to be in a setting like a set type of thing and amongst other entrepreneurs, or we can even be on location where we'll be at their spots or their offices, their photography studio, wherever, and just kind of talk about that certain, entrepreneurs ups, downs, greats, and all that stuff of their whole journey. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm still working that all out, but that's what's coming up though.
Ooh, I cannot wait to tune in. I think that will be really, really dope
Yeah.
to be on location and then also
Yes.
get their stories because I'm a story person. Like when I
Right.
hear like your story and where you were from the beginning and where you're at now and how
Right.
everything is weaved together, like it just draws me. So I love that and I
Yes.
cannot wait to
Yay.
watch and share with my community for sure. So is there
Yes.
anything else you would like to share today? Are we?
um, just thank you for having me on here. I'm super excited.
Yes. Hey, Be Free family. I want to personally invite you to the Be Free Meetup. It is my in person event where you will find your community of women to grow with. Just think of it as finding your new best friend that can go on this personal growth journey with you. I know you want that. I know you need that. And that is why I created it just for you. So I have an event coming up. So all you have to do is go to BeFreeMeetup.com to purchase your ticket. Again, BeFreeMeetup.com and come grow with us.